A rainy night, and the New York wanderer, New York, the city that never sleeps. But tonight, the atmosphere felt different. Clouds covered the sky, and gentle rain pattered against the glass window. The scent of fresh rain mixed with the cool breeze, as if the city had paused to take a deep breath. Mark, an ordinary New Yorker, had returned home early from work. Like so many others in the city, his life was a whirlwind of deadlines and subway commutes. But tonight, the rain seemed to ask him to pause, to slow down, and to reflect. He stepped into his small apartment, kicked off his shoes, and made his way to the window. Looking out, he saw the streets glistening under the shimmering lights of the city. The usual bustling roads were quieter now, as if New York itself had taken a break. Mark sank into his favorite couch, letting the rhythm of the rain lull his busy mind. Reaching for the old book on his coffee table, he flipped through its worn pages. It was a collection of stories about New Yorkers who had pursued their dreams despite the odds. One story, in particular, caught his eye, the story of Emma. Emma had come to New York from a small town with nothing but a suitcase and a dream of becoming an artist. She worked long days at a small cafe and spent her nights painting on the rooftop of her tiny apartment. The city lights, the distant hum of traffic, and even the rain became part of her inspiration. Mark couldn't help but relate to Emma's story. He too had once come to New York with dreams of becoming an artist. But over time, those dreams had been buried beneath the weight of responsibility. Staring out of his window at the falling rain, Mark wondered, do dreams ever truly die, or do we just forget them? Closed the book and leaned back in his chair, lost in thought. Memories of his younger self resurfaced, bright-eyed and hopeful, sketching ideas in his notebook, imagining the day his art would hang in a gallery. Life, however, had taken him in a different direction. Maybe it's not too late, he thought. Maybe dreams can be rekindled. He stood up and opened the window. The cool, damp air filled the room, carrying the fresh scent of rain. For a moment, Mark simply stood there, listening to the rain and letting it wash over his senses. The sound reminded him of quiet nights from his childhood, nights when the world felt full of possibility. Suddenly inspired, Mark went to his closet and pulled out an old sketchbook. Dust covered its cover, a sign of how long it had been forgotten. Inside were unfinished sketches, remnants of the dreams he had once nurtured. With a deep breath, he picked up a pencil and began to draw. The rain continued its rhythmic dance against the city's streets. But inside Mark's apartment, there was a new kind of energy. His hand moved instinctively over the paper, tracing lines and shapes. Each stroke of the pencil felt like reclaiming a piece of himself that had been lost. Hours passed as Mark sketched, the world outside fading into the background. When he finally leaned back to admire his work, he was staring at a scene that captured the spirit of New York, a city of light, rain, and dreams that refused to fade. For the first time in years, he felt alive, as if he had reconnected with a part of himself he thought was gone forever. As the night wore on, the rain began to ease, and a soft glow of moonlight peeked through the clouds. Mark stood by the window, looking out at the city below. The streets sparkled with rainwater, reflecting the streetlights like stars on the ground. This city, this rain, this night, he thought. They're all reminders that it's never too late to begin again. This story is a reminder for anyone who has ever felt disconnected from their dreams. With the sound of rain in the background, it offers a sense of peace and the possibility of rediscovery.